Alan here, rvcrossamerica.net, and as Dan from I Allegedly always says, I got a good one for you today. This is going to be about keeping your RV lifestyle affordable. I'm recording this in early February as we're heading into RVing season over the course of the next month or two. It feels like we're heading into it right now because I went biking yesterday. I'm planning on biking today. It's going to be in the upper 50s this afternoon. The mountain, which is already sunny this morning, is a balmy 53 degrees this afternoon, forecast to be. And I'm scheduled to go in tomorrow for the next 4 days to work up on the hill as a ski instructor, and we'll see how the snow is holding up. Looks like they're planning on staying open through at least this weekend. And the good news is that starting Sunday night, we're going to get back closer to normal and we're going to get snow. So I'll leave it at that. I'll keep you posted on how the winter is proceeding here in North Idaho. Now, let's talk about keeping your RV lifestyle affordable. The main post is going to be at rvcrossamerica.net / RV life costs. RV life costs. And I have a number of issues that I address within the article. As usual, the meat is in the article, so you're going to want to go there. But just to let you know what I'm getting into, in terms of keeping your costs affordable, you start with buying right. That means buying a quality camper. It doesn't mean buying brand new. Very often with my concierge RV clients, I don't recommend buying brand new. But it does mean buying a camper that is in good condition, has been well cared for, and was built right in the first place. Because if it's built right in the first place, you're not going to be dealing with the camper falling apart. That's a big thing. You're not going to be dealing with water damage as long as you maintain it and as long as you take reasonable precautions. You're not going to be dealing with floors buckling. You're not going to be dealing with delamination. Or slide failures. Those are your major cost items. It doesn't happen often with well-built campers. So if you start with a well-built camper, you're ahead of the game and you avoid the majority of the industry, which is honestly building junk. And I don't care if it's a $50,000 pile of junk on a dealer's lot or a $700,000 pile of junk on a dealer's lot, it's junk. And for the people who work with me with my concierge RV buying service, I make sure that we stick with the manufacturers who build a better product and not the manufacturers who are just bean counters and trying to make the maximum profit. That's unfortunately what's going on in the RV industry, and it's worse today than I've seen it ever before. I take a case study in my article, and that case study is me. And I looked over my cost of repairs, and I've had a few, replacements, and maintenance. And I'm at about, over an 8-year period, $350 a year, which I think is an extremely moderate figure. And I detail for you exactly what I've had replaced and what I've had done. Those are things that you can see. And I also get into additional components that can fail. The components are the things that do work in your camper, your refrigerator, your air conditioner, your furnace, your microwave. Those things can fail. They can also last decades. So again, sometimes it comes down to not the manufacturer of the component, but how the component was installed. I see RV manufacturers that slap refrigerators in with substandard wiring, substandard enclosures, and then you wonder why your $5,000 gas absorption refrigerator is failing, or you wonder why your newer 12-volt compressor refrigerators are failing. I follow the postings in numerous Facebook groups, and it amazes me the number of problems people are having with recent campers, 24s, 25s, even 26s, that are repairs that cost thousands of dollars. And unfortunately, people aren't prepared for them. It really is a shame. I talk a little bit about extended service contracts, and I'll tell you right now, it's a big no unless you're in a very, very small category. I believe if you have a diesel motorhome, or if you have diesel, basically a diesel truck. Obviously, I'm in a towable, so I use the diesel truck. I think diesels are worth having an extended service contract on. It's not that they are problematic. It's just that if and when they fail, boy, are they expensive to fix. So I made sure, for example, for my Ford truck diesel, that as soon as I was out of manufacturer's warranty, I went out and got an extended service contract. And by the way, they are appropriately called extended service contracts, not extended warranties. It is not an extended warranty in the sense that you and I think about what a warranty is. So, we talk about another big item for RVers, and this is across the board. You can control your RV camping costs, and RV camping costs are taking off. If you are a daily or a weekly traveler, you're paying big money. I can remember it still stings. Back in October, I stayed at the Nugget in St. Regis. Great RV resort, really, it is. But I paid over $400 for the week. Really? That's excessive to me. That really is. And they're not unusual. And frankly, you could pay double that if you were in Breckenridge, Colorado, or if you're staying in any other number of places where the location is really premium. Particularly, I think of West Yellowstone. I think of um, the Hudson River near New York City and New Jersey. They get exceptional amounts of money for people to stay for a week. Of course, New York City is kind of a unique thing, but that's a whole nother story. Anyway, so I give tips for off-grid living so that you can dry camp. And that is a big way to save money. There are also other ways to save money. Again, in the post, rvcrossamerica.net/RV life costs. And then finally, if you're full-time, I talk about residency thoughts because that can affect your income tax. It can also affect your sales tax. Anyway, Alan here, rvcrossamerica.net/RV life costs. Go there, check it out. I'd love to hear your feedback. I'd love if you think this is worthwhile, good information, leave a thumbs up, subscribe, leave a comment over on my post. Also, leave a comment, and we'll talk soon. I read and respond to all comments. Thank you.